It's the day of the show.
Hi, it's John Romita Jr. at San Diego Comic-Con. Fantastic Comics in Berkeley is the best shop in the world, hands down.
What's up, Doc?
My mama done told me bring home something for dinner.
For dinner? What's cooking? What's it you're looking for?
Oh, don't tell me now, don't tell me. It's a rabbit.
Eat!
Dusty, go on over to that piano.
Oh, no.
No.
I haven't played in so long.
I couldn't.
Been a long time.
All right. We're going to do a little number for you, but remember, we're a bit rusty, so bear with us. Just like the old days.
All right.
Maestro?
My little buttercup has the sweetest smile. Dear little buttercup, won't you stay a while? Come with me where moonbeams paint the sky, and you and I might linger in the sweet by and by. Oh, dear little buttercup, with your eyes so blue. Oh, little buttercup, you're a dream come true. You and I will settle down in a cottage built for two. Dear little buttercup, I love you.
Everybody!
My little buttercup has the sweetest.
It's my Great.
Dear little buttercup, won't you stay out?
Wild.
You and I will settle down in a cottage built for two. Dear little buttercup, sweet little buttercup, my little buttercup, I love you.
Mom! Jenny ate my corn on the cob!
No, I didn't. He's lying.
Now, kids. Jenny, why don't you get us dessert?
I love you, little brother.
I love you, sis.
Beautiful kids.
Now, Desmond, you do smoke, ganja at home, don't you?
Oh,
Oh, yeah, man. We smoke that shit all the time.
Say, would you like a chocolate-covered pretzel? They're a little melty, but damn are they exquisite. And if I remember correctly, you're a big pretzel fan.
Dark chocolate.
Yeah?
No.
Oh, come on.
No,
They're
please.
awesome.
No.
Here you go.
Thank you. Oh.
Use the PA! You're supposed to be big and scary!
Reset!
I hope you brought rubbers, because a storm is coming.
That's nasty and not even a little scary. Rubbers?
No rain booties.
Don't improvise! Reset!
I thought if Casanova and I and Zara had nothing to say to each other, he'd get bored. Go away. Instead, he uses it as a chance to put his testicles all over me.
His what?
How you say, octopus, testicles.
No, tentacles. NT. Tentacles.
Tentacles.
There's a big difference.
Snake eyes. Ah! 88 teeth! Oh, hammerhead! Oh no! Pussycat! Pussycat puss! Batman! Double header! Pickle puss! Pumpkinhead! Neon noodle! Jukebox jaw! Wolfman! Ruff! Ruff! You're all under arrest!
I'm gonna make your dream of slothfulness and greed come alive! Oh. Kevin, I'm gonna build you a house! I'm gonna call it the Devil's House! It's gonna be filled with the softest pillows! It's gonna have elevators, escalators, 1,000 TVs! Kevin, there's gonna be a bathroom right in your bed, so you don't have to get up to go to the bathroom at all! Hail Satan!
Hail Satan! Well, haven't you anything to say? Anything? Out of sheer honesty?
Yes, I would just love a duck dinner.
Get to his bubble and he's never gonna let you down. He's always looking so fly. No other buck can compare, that's why Gizmo's the best dog in the world. Even better than Snoop Dogg. That motherfucker better watch out for Gizmo. He's got style and he's got grace. Gizmo's the part that can't be replaced.
Always put dare stickers on your car to keep the cops away. That's brilliant, man. I wish I would have hung out with you, Yule, in the day.
My brother and I used to say that drowning in beer was like heaven, eh? Now he's not here and I got 2 stalkers. This isn't heaven, this sucks.
Pretty fancy moves, Murphy.
Yeah, well, my son Jimmy watches this cop show, DJ Laser, and this laser guy does this every time he takes down a bad guy, so naturally my kid thinks every good cop should be...
And you don't want to disappoint him.
Yeah, well, role models can be very important to a boy.
Pharmaceutical company on blind.
Okay, I get a kick out of it.
This is where he every day wearing a necklace like this, and he's in this urn.
Is his ashes?
Yeah, his ashes right here and here. Yep. So both of my grandpas right here.
What's that other thing on the necklace?
It's a Punisher emblem.
What's that about?
I like the Punisher just because he's he takes his the law into his own hands to punish the people that wronged him.
For shame, Doc. Hunting rabbits with an elephant gun.
Elephant gun?
That's right, Doc. So why don't you go shoot yourself an elephant? You do, and I'll give you such a pinch!
Originally settled as Ocean View during the 1850s, the city's population boomed with displaced
Okay, Space Cadets, prepare to hurtle through the cosmos in today's turgid episode.
But in my own way, I am king. Hail to the king, baby.
Welcome to Fantastic Comics Presents. This is our 214th consecutive Tuesday, getting together with you live at 8 o'clock on the West Coast. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for everybody that's here after the fact. Please think about subscribing to the channel if you haven't already. And if you have, hit the bell for notifications. And if you're new here and aren't sure exactly what's going on, well,
my name is Yul Carter, comic book retailer in Berkeley, California.
That's right. I am a comic book retailer in Berkeley, California. This isn't just a comic book show with a dude with comic books talking to you about all the stuff that goes on in the industry. Hardly any of it. Things that come to mind, definitely. Things that leave my mind, well, I won't be talking about them, but maybe we'll get back to them some other time. And we talk about things that happen in the store, things that we talk about at the store, and how the store kind of runs. So it can be a little nuts and bolty sometimes. But if you enjoy that type of thing, you're in the this is the place. This is like the real deal when it comes to comic books. And not just a comic book owner, but I am the employee of the store. I'm the last one remaining. When there were many, now there's just me. Maybe, possibly, like it always needed to be. Should have been. But couldn't have been in a much larger location. These are the trials and tribulations of an idiot owning a comic store. And we're going to be having a telethon. It's already started on our Substack, and I put it in the chat. You can hit that link. It takes you over to a Stripe account, and all that money that you would be donating to us, you could get back in credit in the store. You can also just leave it. I don't care. But it's all going to come to us. It's not going to leave because of credit card applications. You're not going to be put on any list or anything like that. So if you got it, flaunt it. And, you know, I have a birthday coming up real soon, and I don't need gifts. Although I got a phone call from a Phil wondering if I got Savage Dragon 171 in the store. And I was kind of answering like, you know, I'm an employer or a guy running a shop. So I'm like, no, I don't have it. He's like, oh, okay, I just wanted to make sure I'm going to be sending it to you. And I'm like, oh my gosh. But I am definitely collecting Savage Dragon 171, and I will have it for the store now. And if you are so inclined, I can sign it. But that'll be a little bit. But thank you, Phil. Really, really appreciate that. That little bit of business first is out of the way, and now we can get to the very first topic that we like to. Let me just take this down. This very first topic, we get out, get it in and out. It doesn't usually dominate the conversation at the store, so it doesn't really need a whole lot of conversation devoted to it. Probably more to this leading into it this week. That's right. This is the Wrestling Minute. I had to turn my camera off just for a second. Scratch my nose. You don't need to see this. This is where we talk wrestling. There's a lot of wrestling coincidences, things that happen in comics and wrestling, and case in point, Hurricane Helms had a tattoo of a Green Lantern symbol, and then he became the Hurricane. Shane Helms became the Hurricane. Actually, it was Gregory Helms in WWE. CM Punk, Cobra tattoo. CM Punk wrote a comic book, Drax, and something else, I can't remember. Raven wrote one of the best all-time Spider-Man stories. Can you tell me which issue that is? Don't look it up. I'll tell you some other day. He had to help though. But still really good. He had a tattoo of Starman. And that was like such a great book in the 90s that if you're an indie wrestler and you're trying to get over with like a niche crowd that's even more niche than the one that likes wrestling, independent wrestling, Raven was the way to go, without a doubt. I really feel like this is a little ramble, not part of the minute. I really feel like Raven never got utilized like he needed to. Maybe he fucked himself up too much. All right. First up, on Raw, Becky Lynch beat Nia Jax. Beat Nia Jax in a last woman standing match. It was pretty good. Then there was a Rhea Ripley face-off. They're going to be meeting each other at WrestleMania. WrestleMania is going to be a stacked card, 2 nights. And one of the matches isn't fully known. It's a 6-team, I think it's 6-team tag title ladder match. It's going to be a cluster is what it is. Last night on Raw, DIY, Gargano, and Ciampa put themselves in that match, beating the Creed brothers. I didn't get a picture of this, but I'm sure I have one somewhere else. Sasha Banks, if you only know her from WWE, signed a contract at AEW, and now Mercedes Moné is the CEO over there. I wonder if the owner of the company, Tony Khan, knows this. That's your Wrestling Minute. And the build-up to WrestleMania is fine, but it's just like, all right, it always feels like it's 2 or 3 weeks away longer than it really needed to be. I always liked it when it was in March, but there you go. Let me get a sip of water. Yep, that's what it is. That's the show. Let's do this. Y'all want me to do it. I'm going to do back-to-back videos as far as the welcoming people to the show.
Hello. 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 Oh. Go. Look out. Hello.
Hello. All right. Thanks for indulging me on that. I made a decision. I'm going to only do this out of a glass for the time being. I want you to see this, just like that. Oh, that's too much. Too much? A little drippage. That's all right. It's on a book that already has water damage. So what the fuck? Who cares? All right, that's all cleaned up. Thank you very much. Oh, yeah, let's get that drink in. All right. All right. Up early. Well, I made this video for the show a little while ago. Not as early in the morning as I normally do, but Eric was here. Who'd be mad at Yule? I call this Mad About Yule. I was making fun in the store about the Paul Reiser and his Nepo baby, his Nepo son writing that What If Alien book. What if Paul Reiser's ass lick character lived? What great adventures could I have imagined? And so that's a what if. Not just what if, Marvel characters, but now just what if any property they own. So it came back up. Eugene made a pretty funny pun with Mad About You. And I didn't, obviously. Oh, thank you, Spider Guy. Appreciate it. Lane Kramer. There's no Yule mad times, only sometimes a slightly peeved Yule coming at you from California Bear style. Yule is always great. Amen. I agree. Hello, Joey Pill in the other room. Fantinuum, yo. I take it's as crazy about Yule. I'll take it as crazy about Yule. I'll feel the kill. The West Coast accent prevents me from being mad at Yule. But I'm an East Coaster who deals with much worse accents. So yeah, seriously. Like Erica Sullivan in that Boston accent. My goodness. Elithalor. Hi, everybody. Oh yeah, here's the link. I'm gonna put that down in the comments afterwards. If you follow our Substack, you know all about this. You can get. We're basically saying, hey, customers, you're gonna come in, just give us money. We're gonna put it in credit for you, and you come in and take care of that. It's a win-win. So it's kind of like a little telethon. We're going to eventually have links up to things that I'm going to sell on this show and also on Substack or Patreon. And it will be just those people, which could be like everybody. But, you got to be here in order to make it happen. Dwayne Muth. Hello, Yule in the chat. Well, hello, Dwayne Muth. LK says, Yule's just mad the Dodgers couldn't sign all the free agents. Well, let me tell you, tonight, or actually tomorrow morning at 3 a.m, so this isn't going to be the longest show in the world. You'll need some Z's. Glasnow is going to be pitching against, oh my goodness, who's the guy? I can't think of his name. The guy who pitched for the Dodgers so horribly in Game 7 of the World Series. I try and blank it from my mind. Yeah, they're going to be going in Korea. And Otani and Yamamoto is going to be pitching tomorrow. It's going to be crazy. They have cheerleaders. There's like a guy cheerleader, and it's all ladies in shorts and tight shirts and tennis shoes, and they're just doing their fun little routines. And the crowd's really super loud. It's going to be on ESPN. So if you're up and you want to see a different culture's take on the America's pastime, which isn't such a pastime when it's averaging just a little over 2 hours. I mean, they make longer movies all the time now compared to baseball games. It's ridiculous. Oh, nobody can sit and watch a baseball game. It takes so long. And then they're watching 20 hours in a row of something. Give me a break. Anybody could do that. Thanks again for treats out. These are the only kinds of treats I'm looking for. Who's that baby face kid on the stream? That's me. My dad accidentally got in on the store's Amazon account, Amazon Prime, and shipped to the store a razor. So I thought I'd take advantage of it today. I meant to send you a tracking number on that when I sent it out, but after 2 days of forgetting, I figured I'll just let it arrive. Phil, thank you so much again. So good to see you. WrestleMania is coming fast and furious. I don't know. It's always, I don't know. And then it's like, it's Thanksgiving and you're like 8. And you're like, you go home if you're not already home, and it's just kind of like, that's kind of WrestleMania afterwards. It's just got that turkey high. Just can't do much. Beer in a glass, you'll go in classy on us. I've done this before, I'll have you know. But I was rewatching a Joe Casey interview. I think that was episode 199. And I was drinking a beer, having a good time with all y'all. And this is going to be the last time you're going to see this. I was like, finishing it off. And I'm like, that's horrible. That's just not good at all. It's one thing to drink a beer on camera. It's another thing to be all, give me that, that drink. And it always looks that way. Man, this week, I might get hit by a few books, by quite a few books. Yeah, good. We should all go to the comic shop and buy more. Man, more and more Blood Hunt is coming to stare us in the face. I got 8 books this week with another 2 maybes. Wow. Really? Well, we'll be talking about that in a moment. And then lastly, Elithidor. But Blood Hunt can eat my chocolate starfish. Wow. How did a Marvel versus Vampires get greenlit, let alone for spring? I mean, it definitely feels like a winter kind of thing. But Marvel is really it feels like they're putting some effort into it, at least in the gimmick of it. And for the most part, it's not going to really tie into anything I already read. So I'm not really worried about it touching on anything other than the fact that I finalized the order yesterday for the first issue, and I'm excited. I've got a bunch of different covers for people that like that kind of thing. But overall, I didn't really order a lot. But again, I don't have a ton of customers that get all the covers. So some people just be like, oh, I'll just get that. I don't care. Like I have this one customer, if someone's like, oh, I got to have the A cover, I know I can switch it out. Now, when it's a DC book, sometimes it's like $1 more. They put better effort into it. They theoretically want people to spend $300 plus for the entire event. I have a customer that's going to buy every single one. I have another customer that's probably going to buy every single one. I have some customers that are going to get all the 5 and then just the things that tie into stuff that they like or don't tie into stuff that they like. If you like Spider-Man and it's going to hit 1 issue, then there's going to be a 3-issue mini. They'll get the 3-issue mini is what I'm saying. But they won't get any of the other stuff. And that's pretty much how I feel about it too. I've always felt that way. I did the Civil War. Okay. So I was in the Civil War. I don't know about all of y'all, but I was in the Marvel Civil War. And I read every goddamn book. And most of them were really, really good. I mean, it was fun. But I didn't need to read a Captain Marvel. Oh, shit. She wasn't called Captain Marvel then. Sorry, kids. Ms. Marvel. I didn't have to read that really to get it. I didn't have to read that Battlefront, I think is what it was called. But that was actually one of the best books of them all. That wasn't like Civil War. And they kind of did that shtick a few times, and it kind of got played out. And now they're just like trying to, it feels a lot of times when they're bringing all these books in to be a part of something, you've got your standards that you're going to expect. Like if the Avengers don't have it in their book, which they do, then they will definitely have a mini series, or it might be like a couple of side characters from Avengers going off and doing something. That actually sounds like a cool thing. But when you're doing it with everybody and then characters that you don't care about, it just feels like Marvel's like, well, what character is, we got to copyright protect this character, let's bring this one up. So a lot of times it feels that also. Here we go. Fear Monarch says, I'm going to get a Moon Knight issue because it's tie-in. That's all for me, folks. Amen. I'm definitely getting that Spider-Man one, but I'm going to read the 5 issues. I think I'm down for it. I'm excited. I mean, what else? Of all the popcorn things that are going on, it's not really going to affect anything I care about, so I'm kind of down with it. Phil says, I bought reader copies of Savage Sword of Conan in whatever cover. Amen. I figured they would get beer spilled on them, and one did. I thought all 3 covers were great. I love that very first story. Wow, Savage Sword, what an amazing first issue. It's one of those time travel type of things, but not from the past, but from today. And it's just so well done. And also that Jusco cover for Savage Sword was a beaut, definitely. But I went and got the Zafino one because I'm a Zafino fan. All right. Thank you. Thank you, everybody chatting. Don't forget, we are having a telethon right now. Here's a video.
Once I built a railroad, made it run, made it race against time. Once I built a railroad, now it's done. Brother, can you spare a dime?
Once I built a tower to the sun, brick and rivet and lime. Once I built a tower, now it's done. Brother, can you spare a dime?
That's right. Brother, can you spare a dime? In the chat, towards the beginning of the chat, I have a link. I can put it out again, but it will also be down in the comments down below. Again, this is for our store. You can buy credit. It will go to, all the money will come to us. There's like no processing fee. It's amazing. It's what a gimmick we've worked out. And for the whole first year, we can take advantage of that. And the clock's already been ticking, so this is the first day of us talking about it. The store, me, I can use a little help. And the best way for me to do that is to receive money for people and then sell them comic books. I've got a lot of comic books, individual issues, graphic novels. I get them all the time. They come in weekly. But maybe we can curate something for you all in this chat. Give my store a call, or even better, get a hold of me through social medias. Contact at Fantastic Comics is a good way, or my name, Yule, at fantasticcomics.net, and you can get a hold of me through email. We're on Twitter, Fantastic Comics. I definitely check that. I definitely check the Instagram, Fantastic Comics. And if you want to get a hold of me on X, that's Big Blue Yule. There you go. Big Blue Yule. That's me. Go Dodgers. All right. First up, we're going to talk about, well, first up, I guess we already did, but one of our great segments is Best of Last Week. And I'm going to point out a comic book I haven't read. Comic book I've only sold a few of, and something that a lot of people probably don't know about. And it's this one called Vengeance for the Living, and it's a real cool 4-issue miniseries that started out. And I'm not even sure who the creator is. It's just a black and white, cool, gritty kind of double feature kind of comic book. And I think you should know about that. All right. There was another one that was a runner-up. What was that? Oh, that was this one. Nobody knows about it in the store yet, and they didn't pick it up because I hadn't read it, so I couldn't really tell people whether or not they needed to read it. The only thing I could say is really good art by Ben Gall and story by Rick Remender. Well, now I can tell you about the story and whether or not I like it. Excuse me. That was horrible. I don't know if I love this issue. I mean, I do love the art. Again, Ben Gall is just amazing. But there's this weird other god kind of hook going on in the story, and there's a lot of death. Or is there death? And I'm trying not to give a whole lot away, but it was an interesting book, and I feel like a lot of people are going to want to come back to it. So I'm letting you know that right now I have issues of Rick Remender's Napalm Lullaby, #1. And if you're a fan of Sacrificers, if you're a fan of Low, if you're a fan of Fear Agent, Uncanny X-Force, Uncanny Avengers, Captain America that he did with John Romita Jr. and Carlos Pacheco, R.I.P., you should definitely check this book out. All right. Best of last week continues with the first book, Counting Down, Ghost Rider Final Vengeance. Now, I can't personally say it was a great book, although this is a pretty awesome cover. There were other covers that were pretty cool too. Unfortunately, if you come into my store tomorrow, you're not going to see any of them because this was a sellout. And I think you should all know about that because I got more coming in. So don't worry about it. I got it. Avengers Twilight #4, another sellout for this issue. You'd think I'd order more. I did order more, okay? It's still sold out. I ordered more of the next issue. Is it going to sell out? Don't leave me hanging. Anyway, I got reprints of some of the earlier ones, and we're waiting for 3. Marvel, why do you have a reprint of 1 and 2 yet again? I need #3. So this is a pretty hot series right now. I know a lot of people are liking it. I heard it really picks up come the 3rd issue. Like that was the big one. So yeah, come on in, check that out. I'll have more of them. Again, another book I didn't read and another book I sold out. I think I have a couple of a variant cover. Follow the House of X #3. I'm behind, and I thought I was going to take all day to myself and just get caught up on X-Men books, but I decided not to. I did anything but, and I didn't get to read them. I want to, and I know there's a lot of customers out there that feel the same way. I mean, they're just sitting there in their house. Why am I not reading this? Maybe it's because they don't want it to end. Maybe it's because they're sick of it and they just want to wait till it's over and then they can just, read something that takes longer than a baseball game. Because they got 50 comics that they got to read, 5 minutes a comic. It's going to take a while. Some of those have big words. Anyway, Follow the House of X, sellout. I got more coming in. Another book that sold out. This was unexpected. I've been keeping this one a little bit tight lately, but I've been pushing it, and this was a big one. Green Lantern #9. I've got more coming in. This is the one that reveals a big, big deal as far as the Owen power battery, the in brightest day and blackest night, no evil shall escape my sight. That thing that the Green Lanterns always power themselves up through their, lanterns. Yeah, Green Lanterns really haven't had lanterns lately. And Hal Jordan has some weird ass ring that he's been using, but he can't go into space. Anyway, everything is explained in this issue, and it's kind of like a new #1, which is funny because a couple issues ago, I thought for anybody that hadn't read the previous 6 issues, it was kind of like a #1 also. So bravo to Jeremy Adams. He's doing a great job. And if you want to see him on this show, we need at least 100 likes because I don't think he even wants to pay attention to us unless we get that. And then lastly, the best of last week, because this is one I got my orders up on. Ultimate Spider-Man was doing crazy good. The first issue of this was great. Ultimate X-Men's been doing great. Ultimate Spider-Man 2 has been doing great. Go figure, Ultimate Black Panther 2 is doing great also. I actually have a few left. One that I just finished reading this weekend. And boy, was it worth it waiting for a day off to, just consume this. I thought this was really good. There's a traitor in the midst. Who is it going to be? And all that. Yeah, really good comic book work. I enjoyed it quite a bit. Yeah, definitely a great book. So the last couple that I read, and they were the best of last week. And yeah, there you go. Something I saw on Twitter just before I started the show. Dustin Weaver is going to have 1949. He said, for all of you people that are waiting for the trade of Packless to come out, this is the first one that you got to get. And Dustin Weaver is an amazing illustrator, and he just does some really, really good work in Packless, which had a bunch of different stories and different styles. And he puts a lot of effort and work, and he was doing Marvel Comics for a while, but if you see him, he's usually just doing a cover these days. So if you want to see some fantastic work by an artist that's writing his own material, you're going to want to get 1949. Let your comic book store out there know. Better yet, give me some money and we can apply it to the 1949 you're going to want me to order for you. All right. Yeah, that was good. Anybody hear about X-Men? This last week at, oh God, what is it? It's not C2E2. It was South by Southwest in Texas, Tejas. They had it's a bunch of things going on there. Sometimes it's like politician shit. Sometimes it's electronics or music, and then it's comic books. And it's like Tom Brevoort, who's going to be the new editor, made a post, I think, on X. Maybe it was Facebook or Blue Sky. I don't know what the hell it was. He said, nobody's really talking about this video announcement. And the video announcement was the different X books that are going to be starting in summer. The lead book is the one in the middle, X-Men, by Jed McKay, who's writing Avengers, Doctor Strange, Moon Knight, or Vengeance of Moon Knight, Blood Hunt. He's going to be doing this. He's going to have basically written every Marvel character, it looks like. But at least he has two that have swords, so that's cool. On the left-hand side, you'll see Gail Simone writing, and then David Marquez doing the art. Oh, yeah, Ryan Stegman's on art in the X-Men book. And then Exceptional X-Men by Eve Ewing and Carmen Carnero, who just did the last issue of Amazing Spider-Man, which I thought was a really good job. And I'm not sure if I like those costumes, although Emma's kind of, I don't know, the high boots are weird. Anyhow, these are all drawn by Stegman, so it's not an indictment on Carnero. So, yeah, these are the books that are going to be coming out. There's a big old post about it on marvel.com if you want to check it out. Do you think that this is something that's going to be a big deal? I'm not quite sure. I even saw some people in the retailers, forum that I'm in on Facebook kind of talking some smack about it. But I feel that, this is when, if you feel, are you a shill? Do you believe in something? Do you want to like something? Do you like everything? These are the types of people that you can be when it comes to like serving customers. You can just be a liar. Like, I just want to make some money off this shit. I personally want people to buy stuff that they want. And if I can't get them into X-Men, there's probably something else I can get them into. Maybe it's time for you to finally make that plunge into creator-owned comic books. Maybe it's time to make that plunge into older issues, back issues, collections of back issues. Just going on hiatus for a while. If it's good enough for Saga, it can be good enough for you, right? Right. Let's see here. You're right on I Heart Skull Crusher. That book was great. Oh, wow. I didn't think it was necessarily great. I didn't read it though. I have it set aside to do that, but it looked interesting. I thought it was a premise. It was a premise that I didn't get sick of immediately. And you kind of have that feeling. And maybe like they can go to something that's worthwhile. So I'm glad to hear that, and it makes me want to read that. So thank you very much. Wait, I was reading something, so maybe I missed it. Did you mention Transformer 6? Oh, no, I didn't actually. I totally forgot. But thank you for mentioning that. Why would I have done that? That makes no sense. Let's do this though. Let me share this. Oh, no. Let's go to this first. I had this all set up. All right.
Bill, spin my arm.
Come on. Come on. I win a Winnebago. I win a Winnebago. No, so close. I spun it a little too hard.
That's right, Bill. You spun it a little too hard. Speaking of spinning, we've got the Transformers number 4, 1 in 50 Annalisa Leone variant that we're going to be giving away to a lucky customer that is on the hold and purchased this issue. Thank you very much for being one of those people. We are going to be doing 2 spins to get to the 3rd spin. It's kind of like a little battle royale. So here are all the people on the first spin. Most of them by last name, some of them by the names that you see in chat. Good luck. Whew, tension's so thick. Congratulations. Oh my God. Ace. Wow. Congratulations, Ace. All right, we're going to stop sharing there. I'm going to get rid of all these names. There's going to be one more spin. Those people are going in right now. Thank you very much for your patience. We have 3. These are people that are on hold that purchased the issue and also purchased the 1 in 10 $10 variant copy. This could have been any of y'all, but these were the ones that did. Thank you very much, and good luck to someone here. Whew. Wow. Congratulations, Mr. Miller. Oh, I didn't share that. Shit. You guys didn't see that. Hold on a second. I'm going to just do this. I'm going to just present, share screen. There you go, Mr. Miller. Yes. All right. So it's down to Ace and Mr. Miller. Why don't I do this really quick? Man, too much things to pay attention to. Robots in disguise. That's right, robots in disguise. All right, here we go. I'm presenting to you all. This is between 2 people, 2 customers that are caught up and they're purchasing. They are in hold form, and here we go. Ace already won last issue, so this is amazing. But Ace has been aced out by Mr. Miller. Congratulations. I did share that. Everybody saw it. If you don't like it, you can suck an egg. Congratulations, Mr. Miller. I know you've been wanting these for some time. This is a big one. Way to go. All right. We're going to talk about some new comic books right now. These are the ones that are coming out for Wednesday, 3/20/24. For those of you that have a comic store that is open on Tuesdays, we're not. DC is allowed to be sold on Tuesdays because when they broke away from Diamond, they went to Lunar and also DCBS, I think it is, and they allowed their stuff to be, they broke the day that everybody else sells, which is Wednesday, so that they can be sold on Tuesday. And some people are like, Well, we were open on Tuesdays, so it didn't really matter, but it's much nicer not having to worry when it's all at the same time. The problem is that so many stores that don't give a shit about that anyway. You're not supposed to sell early. You're not supposed to sell early. And I understand there's people that you have that are special in your store. They're going to keep it quiet till the proper day. They're just getting their stuff ready. But you're not supposed to. So, but when it's on the shelf and you can go in and get it before another store does, it's like, so DC recently said, you know what, we're going to do it on Wednesday also. It's kind of like they were doing it sort of like let's get on the same page. People are kind of like kumbayaing it a little bit right now in comics. They see things aren't so great. They want to circle the wagons type stuff and do some things. But what they're doing is kind of half-assed. Marvel's putting out these books that I've been giving away to free to the customers. I didn't even know they were coming in. And I guess it was based on, orders and things that you purchase of other things. And what they are is Marvel must-haves. And it's 3 free comic books, all in one book. And it's like a great deal. It's Deadpool and Spider-Man #1, Joe Kelly, and I think Ed McGuinness. And then it's one of the Immortal Thors and a recent issue of Miss Marvel, the one that the actress Ms. Marvel wrote. So these are great. But, where are these getting to? I mean, I've been talking about how Marvel could give away comics, like Scholastic, everybody's all about, Dogman, it sells so well. If Marvel didn't care about money, right? They were trying to seed the future generation of people that are going to be purchasing comic books. They could give a select comic book away or a selection of comic books away for free and all those Scholastic magazines. So what, school's 6 or 7 months out of the year, right? So you get that for 6 months. You're going to be giving away some free comic books. These comic books are monthly. That kid had to write, I want this and this and this. Free. And then, you're going to lose some money. But then there's going to be the 8th and 9th and 10th and 11th and 12th month and the Blood Hunt miniseries and all the other stuff. They could be giving this stuff away for free. If it was just in their advertisements. So now they are in some ways. But they're doing it at comic stores. I can't imagine where all these books are going to be going to. And I don't know. I mean, I know there's a Deadpool movie coming out. Is it rated R? Is it really for kids? Sometimes is Deadpool even really for kids? That type of stuff. But at least they're trying. DC does stuff also. They're starting to put out comic book versions of some of their graphic novels. They did one for Batman and Robin and Howard by Jeffrey Brown. Jeffrey Brown used to do young adult. No, not young adult. Young older adult. 20-something kind of a slice of lifey type shit. Humorous moments in life, slice of life shit. And then eventually he started doing stuff for kids for Scholastic. He did Vader and Me, and now he's done a graphic novel called Batman and Robin and Howard. And now they're doing a comic book version of that. There was a comic book graphic novel that DC put out called Primer. So they're starting to do comic book versions of that coming out soon too. If you hadn't seen that before, you're going to probably want to check it out, especially if you get the DC comics and, that kind of stuff. All right. Let's go and talk about some new comics that are coming out tomorrow. First up, in no particular order, we've got Wonder Woman with Superman on the cover. The first story arc is over. I didn't actually read the last issue, so I need to get caught up. I've been enjoying it. I know a lot of people have been upset, but come on, seriously? It's just Wonder Woman. When's the last time you really read Wonder Woman? How about this? When was the last time you really liked Wonder Woman? Don't tell me about not liking Wonder Woman. Tell me about liking Wonder Woman. Linda Carter doesn't count. That porno version of her doesn't count. I need comic book version of Wonder Woman. And if you go all the way to the 80s, I might consider you super old. Coming up next, we've got, I've been playing the clips for it. I didn't order enough. I just know I didn't. I didn't order enough of the William Shatner variant cover. But hopefully you can tell me you want one so I can get one before they sell out. Number 25, it is written by Mark Waid with a bunch of artists. It got Dan Mora, it looks like Steve Pugh, and of course a myriad of colorists. Superman number 12, the end of the big farm. It's Farm and something, I can't remember. The anti-Lex Luthor group. The anti-Lex Luthor Society. This is finishing up on this issue. I liked it. Everything that we read from the very beginning kind of ties into this issue. Not so much that I needed anything that I read in those first issues to get here, but even the one shot or the standalone issue, which was Superman going back in time, still played, it still played a part in this. I like this. It was a really good issue. I like the storyline. The only problem I have with the series as a whole has been Jamal Campbell's absence after like the 5th issue. All the artists have been good, although David Baldeon, this is some slight artwork. It's just not as great as it probably could have been or has been with some stuff I've seen him in the past. I just wonder what's going on with this book, and I don't know. I mean, I could have looked at my solicits, but I didn't really do it. Where's Jamal Campbell? Is he going to be on the next issue? Because it's going to be the big Brainiac storyline. And it's just upsetting. We lost Ivan Rios to Ghost Machine. Gary Frank, Jeff Johns, Brian Hitch, they're not going to be around anywhere for a long time. Ugh. DC, sign these artists. Nightwing, number 112. I think it's only a few more issues before Tom Taylor is out and I can start paying attention to it again. Cool cover, though. I've been selling Nightwing quite well, though. Vengeance of the Moon Knight, number 3. Speaking of Jed McKay, man, he writes everything. Yeah. I read the first issue. It was fine. I just don't really care. X-Men Forever. If you have been sad because X-Men... Oh, Jesus. I'm trying to remember. X-Men. Yeah, X-Men Red. I think it's X-Men Red. I'm going to take a stab. It's over. Then Kieran Gillen is going to be doing X-Men Forever. I don't know. Is this a miniseries, a one-shot? Whatever. Web of Spider-Man, number 1. All right, I'm a little upset about this issue. I'm going to tell you right now. I think this is a cool cover. Greg Capullo is doing some all right work. I mean, it's kind of funny. But, the whole hole in the end there. But, it's cool. This book is like little vignettes that are going to be like, hey, you should buy Spider-Man books. And I don't think I really understood that when I was buying this, but I read it and there's a couple stories in here I actually liked. And I didn't read Gold Goblin, but did you, or I guess really pay so close attention to all the characters in that stupid Wreck Rap story we read recently with the Sinister Squad or whatever it was? But I really enjoyed the look. I really enjoyed the look of this character. Let me take this picture down. The Grave Goblin. Look, he's on a little grave like slider, like the Green Goblin. He's got little skulls for pumpkin bombs and stuff like that. Anyway, I thought this was actually better than I thought it was going to be when I realized what it was. It's not a waste of money and it's not so expensive. And if you want, a taste of some of the stuff that's going on and going to be happening in the Spider books, then this is a real good book to pick up. Speaking of Transformers, we've got Cobra Commander number 3. Joshua Williamson. This is a 5-issue miniseries. It's got really solid artwork, and in the last issue, we saw the Dreadnoks, and they're pretty vicious. And Cobra Commander was out in the Louisiana swamps, and there was alligators and stuff, gators and stuff. Fun book. I'm enjoying this. I'm enjoying Williamson's Duke. I'm enjoying the Transformers that I've been reading. I've read the first 4 issues. And probably one of the reasons why I left it out in the best of last week, just because I forgot. Spider-Woman number 5. If you thought it was over, then you were wrong. It is continuing. And Spider-Boy's in the book also. All right. I haven't been reading any of the Gang Wars Spider-Woman. And now that she's out of it, I don't know. It depends on the artist. Also, I'm not that fond of the writer, but it's only because I've only read like one book that they've done that I just couldn't stand. G.I. Joe, a real American hero. G.I. Joe is there. All right. This has been fantastic. I heard that Chris Mooneyham, the artist, isn't going to be on the future storyline. Paul Pelletier, comics veteran. Yeoman. Don't ever call him a legend. Pelletier is going to be doing the art. So it should look solid. But just not as dynamic as Chris Mooneyham in his best day. Larry Hama is doing some really good work too. But this is the best G.I. Joe I've ever read. Except for, of course, the silent interlude. Star Wars Visions, Takashi Okazaki. I already looked through this. I'm not a big Star Wars guy, but I was helping Lane Kramer with some information on some of the other Star Wars books. And when I was looking through this, I was wowed. It looks exactly like this on the inside, just maybe with a little bit of other color, but mostly in black and white. And it's just... Man, it is really special. It is a really good book. I expect this to sell out. Hopefully, I'll be able to get more if people need it. But this is a solid standalone, I guess, a what if sort of Star Wars Visions. Wolverine Madripoor Nights. I sold out of number 1. I didn't get to read it. I think I gave Ken my last one. And I don't expect this to do any worse than that. So you better come in early if you want to beat one of those fools to it. Boom. Man's Best Friend. I might not have this when I open, but it should be later on that day. Oh, shoot. I don't remember who's doing this one. Why did I had to get a copy of it that had a that didn't have the I had to go online to pick it up. Let me just see if I can find this really quick without this sucking so bad. Man's Best. So anybody that wants to know where I get some of the information, I go to League of Comic Geeks. I know that they are affiliated, I think, somewhat with like Comics Pro and stuff like, so like they kind of get their numbers from that or whatnot. Oh yeah, it's Porn Sock Pishatstadt. And the artist is Jesse Lonergan. And this is like homeward bound on an alien world. Man's best follows 3 emotional support pets living on a starship horizon. A spaceship searching for a new home to house a humanity compromised by bad decisions and corporate greed. And then blah, blah, blah happens. So anyway, there you go. Next up, we've got how do you say this? The Nacelverse. For all of you that are like, man, I got Thundercats and I got Robotech and I got Transformers, but I didn't have any sectars thrown down my throat or biker mice from Mars or power lords or some other shit I've never heard of before. Well, this is the book for you. And I know at least a few people in here that have worked in mainstream comic books. So, you might check this one out. Number 0. Bloodshot Unleashed Reloaded. I think this is a reprint of some books that came out before. I think we would call it a bumper copy, but I could be wrong. So just if you haven't had your Bloodshot in a while and you want to get caught up, you might check this one out. The Displaced by Ed Kissin-Brisson. And I don't know the first name of Casalanguida. It's so hard to say. The first issue was really good. I almost sold out, but I still have a few copies. And I did like it a lot. This whole town went missing, but there were a few select people that were outside of the town when it occurred. And all traces of those people are gone, including memory. And these people that are outside that area that went away are in danger of being lost to people outside anyway. Like if you know the people that didn't go in the hole, didn't get displaced basically, then you're forgotten too. So I can't wait for this issue. It's going to be good. Dutch number 2 by Joe Casey and Simon Gain. I've already read this issue. It's fantastic. Great artwork. It took a little while for me to get into it, kind of like Kneel Before Zod did also. But towards the end of the first issue, this one really picked up, and I could see the superhero aspects of the art coming out when before it could have been a little just not suited. Although I saw some people looking at it and say this is exactly the kind of stuff I expect from stuff in the 90s, which is exactly what I don't think of when I see this. Nonetheless, this is a good superhero book, and it features a character from 90s Image, and he's all grown up now, just like we have. So you should pick this up. It's excellent. And for Eric O'Sullivan, no, I did not get that variant cover that you were asking about. Matt Kent and Dan McDade. It was actually the first issue of If You Find This, I'm Already Dead that made me start really understanding Dan McDade and his artwork. And then I read Kneel Before Zod 2, I think. Maybe it was 3. And then I was like, this guy's it. And then this issue comes out, and I've already read this one. And holy shit, there are so many good scenes in this. It is an excellent issue. I'm a big Matt Kent fan. I don't read every single thing he does, but I read a lot of what he does. And if you're into sci-fi and interesting alien cultures, all the while fearing for this human safety, this is a real good book. April's special, just a few weeks early. It's all about monkeys, and there's a variant cover that you should all see. The Monkey King in the Superman Supergirl crisis pose. Isn't that great? Oh my goodness. Anyway, there's a whole bunch of stories in here featuring the monkey characters of the DC universe. I see Detective Chimp, obviously. We've got Monkey King, and we got that fool from the Super Friends. Justice Society of America was a week late. Everybody's like, oh man, I want my Justice Society. They like know it's coming out. DC doesn't give two shits that this book is still in their vaults, but here it is. It's finally coming out. This started like a couple of years ago, and it's going to be probably the end of this year before the last 4 issues come out. And then Jeff Johns will never work for DC again. 2 more to go. We've got Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees, number 4. I've been scrambling. This has been a runaway hit that nobody really knows about. I got the 3rd printing of number 1 sold out. I'm waiting for 2 and 3 to come back in. But don't worry, come get number 4 because it is that good. And then lastly, Resurrection of Magneto, because that's where it ended up on the list. Al Ewing, who did Immortal X-Men, or vice versa with Kieran Gillen on X-Men Red. This makes me think actually X-Men Red. Is continuing the story from there into Resurrection of Magneto. If you like one, you're going to probably want to read this one. So definitely you want to pick this up. And that concludes New Comic Book Day for tomorrow.
Why, we sell a dozen a day in this price range.
Who buys them? Tax collectors?
Even if I had to pay, it would be worth it. Just for the occasion.
What, something big going on somewhere?
It's going on right here. It's a big night.
Well, it's just an old run-of-the-mill Wednesday. Well, the calendar's full of them.
Yeah, I did that backwards. And I know I also have that picture up. Let me get that done. Boom. All right. Let's go to chat. Let's see. Oh, I saw something that was sad. I know I asked Yule about this day. It was announced. He was like, let's talk about this later. Let's talk about what's coming out now instead. Talking about X-Men, and I totally agree with that. We've got so much stuff. Unless you're like waiting for this, having got rid of that other one, I mean, I can understand, but we get so focused on what's coming out in the future that we're not sniffing the roses today. And you know what? Baseball starts. Everything's okay. It shows how desperate they were for writers when Eve Ewing got one of the 3 launch books. Someone who's only in comics because lunatics online scream she looked like Riri and must write Ironheart. Well, I think she might have also suggested that, and then everybody jumped on board. But it felt like the perfect... See, I don't think they ever did that with Eve Ewing, and I thought she did look like an older version of Ironheart. But I never saw her dressed up in Ironheart gear or anything that would make me think, oh, she's cosplay. It would be awesome. I mean, we already have a situation where a certain type of person needs to write that type of character, with, obvious exceptions, for authenticity. At least that's the way comics are going right now. It feels like a lot of things are going that way right now. We can't just have a bunch of the same people writing all the characters. It just doesn't ring true anymore, and people want authenticity, so they say. I suggest that people actually don't want authenticity, that we actually do want things to be more dumbed down. The problem is that nobody wants to take a turn doing the jingles, writing jingles for stuff, becoming a better musician, writing copy and working their way up and then doing stuff. Marvel lucked out that Peter David had writing talent but at least, at least he worked in the company. So I thought that Eve Ewing looking like Ironheart and going to the shows and selling her comic books to people, because who wouldn't want to buy a comic book from that superhero character? You know what I mean? I thought that would be okay. And for the most part, she's been okay as far as her stuff is concerned when I hear people talking about the writing. I just don't care about Iron Man, much less Ironheart, Might get that first X-Men from Steg and Jed just because because that'd be the series that a #1 hold grows in value. Well, I mean, there's never a problem with that. Shaka! That Ewing's book is set in Chicago, since that is where she is, and was as a professor at. But having Kitty as a barista is such a dumb start. She is a genius. If ever there was a character to be in Stint, amen. Unfortunately, Daniel Warren Johnson's art is gone. Of course, we're talking about Transformers now. That's true. Nobody cares about DC anymore anyways. I don't have sad trombone in here. Wow. Yeah, for the most part, I agree. I think they can still do things that are big deal, but DC has always been your grandfather's comic books compared to Marvel. And there was a time when Marvel got really stodgy. Also, obviously, the 90s. Some would say they're kind of, well, I wouldn't say they're stodgy now, but they're just kind of like, they're meandering, really. They have a direction as far as what they want to accomplish as a company, I think, but they don't have they don't have it all worked out, and they know where they want to get to and what they want, and they're just like, let's do it. But they don't put the work in to make it happen. Thankfully, if it wasn't for all the shitty lady characters that Marvel creates now, Monica Rambeau would be hated still. But now she's loved. I always liked Monica Rambeau. No one ever said that. They're only saying that to defend their like of a comic book. Look at this. I got Monica Rambeau. Please. Are the Scholastic book fairs I remember as a kid in school just UPC codes you scan a desk in a gym? Now I wonder. I kind of wonder that too, but I remember little pamphlets that I would be given to like look around in. It's where you would get like Goofus and Gallant. No, not that would be Goofus and Gallant was in what? Not High Times. Although they should have definitely had a Goofus and Gallant in High Times. I like the one with the superhero twins in that. I just can't remember right now. I have to really scratch that brain. George Perez, Wonder Woman. Duh. I know, Dwayne. That's late 80s, right? You sounded pretty old. And also, if that was where, I mean, if there's never, so who cares what Tom King's doing? See what I mean? See? If it's been since George Perez, and that's not 100% true, because I would dare you to read the Phil Jimenez books. I would especially dare you to read the Phil Jimenez books that Joe Kelly scripted. Beautiful art, beautiful writing, especially the one where Lois Lane interviews Diana. Just an amazing, well-written, perfectly drawn, equally as good as George Perez issue ever. I can't remember the number right now. 171. Joe Kelly also wrote Action 775. It was just he was firing on all cylinders at that time. That filler issue of WW was Tom King at his worst. Bad jokes trying to fit and failing to impersonate Douglas Adams. And the one action moment has Diana saving Clark and wasted Gam March's talent. Well, he is great. If you want something that doesn't waste talent, maybe get Penthouse Comics #1. I've got some copies if you're interested. Dwayne Moose says, I love this. Dwayne Moose, you're all right. All right. Wait, LK says, Rucka Wonder Woman, the one shot by Alex Ross. Yeah, that one. Alex Ross is great. Don't get me wrong. Rucka's Wonder Woman, excellent. I didn't read the second one, but the first one I liked a lot. William Asner Loeb's All the Way. Yeah, those were excellent. Mike Diodato, fairly good at that time. I mean, he was young and, working in the style. Sean Hickey says, please save World's Finest 25, one of my favorite DC series from DC. Honestly, Wonder Woman's been a blast so far, besides the Trinity sections. Funny, a lot of people online have been saying the Trinity stuff is some of the better stuff. All right, let's see. Yeah, Web of Spider-Man is on my maybe list because it's $8 for basically a bunch of zero issues. Yeah, that's true. Let's see. Whoa. All right, firstly, Phil. Whoa, that Star Wars Visions caught my attention. It should. It's really good. I would expect any store that doesn't get a lot will sell out, and probably a store that has good Star Wars fans, it will definitely sell out. I mean, it's different. It's cool. I mean, you would have to hate that the thing isn't like super glossy, like, the normal Star Wars comics, and the coloring isn't like throughout. Chillmonger says, I rewound to the beginning of your X-Men talk. No, the relaunch is not a big deal. But it is a deal. It can win me over with #1. Amen. I mean, it's like, I'm not even a big Gail Simone fan. In fact, anybody that knows me knows I really don't like any of the stuff she's ever done. Her claim to fame is doing a book with villains. And for the most part, I don't want to read about villains, especially multiple villains. Exceptions, right now I'm reading Kneel Before Zod. But I was really never a big fan when Magneto joined the X-Men. I mean, you kind of have to accept it, especially going forward, so some of the new stuff. But I would rather, have some, I don't like when Doc Ock is a sympathetic villain like Mr. Freeze from Batman in Spider-Man 2. I don't want that. I want him to be evil. That's one of Spider-Man's, and then in the book, he became kind of wishy-washy. Now they're trying to rehabilitate him, and by doing so, make him a badass again. But it's so tough. It's so tough. Let's see here. All based off tarot cards. Awesome. Let's see here. How's your father? I would always read highlights at the dentist office. Highlights. That's what it was. I don't think that was actually in the Scholastic, but I could be wrong. The one I'm thinking of has some superhero twins in the middle, and then it would have a bunch of other bullshit. Batman Offworld is kind of good, Battle Buddy says. I think it's great. And I'm really looking forward to anything Jason Aaron's doing for DC right now. LK says, both companies are adrift because you have editors with zero knowledge and less talent, and writers who don't want to create new characters because they don't want to share them because of movies and TV, hence rehashed stories. Boom. Though, I don't think John Byrne, there's a few things that he created, but for the most part, he didn't really create anything when he went to Fantastic Four. In fact, I remember reading a long time ago, and I remember where it was. I think it was in the Dodger Blues forums. There was someone talking about comic books, and someone talked about Fantastic Four by John Byrne. And this guy went blow for blow how all the Fantastic Four comics are rip-off repeats of Tom Baker Doctor Who comics or programs. Now, I'm not a big Doctor Who guy, but if I was going to watch a Doctor Who, it would be a Tom Baker one. If I'm going to read a Fantastic Four, it's probably going to be a John Byrne one from back then. And I read more of them than I read of any of the other ones, maybe Hickman. But man, Damn. If that is true, maybe someone smarter than me can figure that one out. Like Mad Magazine, DC could probably make more money just doing reprints at this point. Ouch. Ouch. There's been a few times where the reprints for some of the facsimiles that DC and Marvel have been putting out have been better than some of the other books that they've been put. I mean, they have been better than a lot of the books that they put out. I mean, I really think that, like, you know, you could, if you took away the 10 books that don't sell and you put all that money that you wasted in those books to the perfect book that you're going to give to kids for free, right? For the entirety of their school year, just that comic everywhere. Your comic store better get 8, 9, 10, 11. And that is so dumb. You already had a sympathetic villain angle with Dr. Connor's Lizard. You don't need to do that with Doc Ock. Everybody loves to talk about Spider-Man 2 as one of the best superhero movies, but I just don't understand it. But I understand wanting to like it. Highlights magazine. I remember being in the second grade making fun of the first graders for reading it. We had moved on to Goosebumps. I would have had to move on to Judy Blume. I did. What the fuck was X-Men from the Ashes reboot and out at South by Southwest and not a comic book show? Yeah, Battle Buddy, because like I was on X and I said, someone said something about, or they retweeted Tom Brevoort saying nobody gives a shit. He didn't say it that way. And I said, yeah. I can't believe it. You know, it used to be San Diego where they'd always tell everything that's going to be going on for the year. But now it's at any other convention, at any other show, and they're doing it at a place where they don't give two shits for comic books. They don't care. If you don't have a movie associated with it, and you didn't, what are you telling me for? They don't care. They might as well do this at the AVN Awards, is what I said. And I think that would have been bigger. Shelby Pill says, Amelia Bedelia was my go-to Scholastic book. Oh, all right. Is that Bonnie Bedelia's sister? Is that who that is? That? All right. At Battle Buddy, okay, says, because that is the audience they want for their comic books, yes. Marvel at best takes us for granted and at worst despises us. They always have. It was different when the new 52 came in and all the old DC heads were like, oh, I don't know if I can handle this. But everybody at Marvel should have been pointing and laughing at all the DC heads. Because they're like, oh, you're getting all this stuff. We've been doing this. Well, I remember New Universe, and, you know, I remember Secret Wars, and I remember all this stuff. Secret Wars, for me, was the most hated thing for the old timers at that time. You know what I mean? Now we're looking at Blood Hunt and going, oh. If it wasn't for Secret Wars, this wouldn't have happened, right? All right. Let's do a little bit of business first. All right. Remember, I'm not asking for free money. I'm just giving you credit for money. All you have to do is hit the it'll be in the comments down below. The Stripe. It's called Stripe. It's a credit card. You're going to go on in and you're going to say $25,000 to $10,000 we can accept from anybody. All the money is going to go to us. I dare you to put $10,000 in credit in our store. We'll be getting you a ton of really good stuff in the future, I promise. And it won't be a problem. I'll totally get it for you. So, all you have to do is do that. But if you want to be a little bit more, modest with your donations of the store for this telethon that we're going to be having, you could do $25. I don't know where I have to go to get this freaking link. Oh, there it is. Jeez Louise. All right, I'm going to copy this. I'm going to put it in chat right now. And we're going to be able to get back to the end of the show. But yeah, if you're like, man, I don't know, this sounds kind of dodgy. I want to make sure that Yule doesn't get all the money. Then I actually have another way for you to participate, helping the show, helping the store. You want to be seen. You want to be heard. You don't want to be like George.
My last name is Costanza. That's Italian. So you and I are kind of like countrymen. Huh? Paisanos.
650 your change.
Ah, yes. And I always take care of my paisanos. So here's a little something.
Antonio! Sì! Vieni qua! Questa miserabile patrona!
You can join the channel. That's like a price of a comic book monthly. There's going to be a reason to do that. I already put up a video that only you guys get to see, or people on our Patreon get to see. That's the second half of the Emil showing off his old ass books to us. That's not technically the name of the program, but it's a work in progress. You know what I mean? So if you're a patron of ours, you pay for our Patreon. It's whatever you want to put in. You're going to get access to that entire video also. It's all just one big 30-minute clump. It's really fun. There's some interaction with a person who is just walking by on the street. There's some car noise. We were doing it when the store was open. So it's a little noisy in the background, but it's atmospheric, I think. And it's a really good look at some comic books that you probably don't know even exist. And I highly recommend it. Join the channel, be a patron of ours on Patreon, and you can help us out. You got to pay our tax guy, and I got taxes coming up every month, 24th, 25th, 26th, depending on what happens to how it works out. So Patreon helps us out. This link is going to help us out. And at the end, next week, I guess, I have something that I'm going to be, we'll be doing like a wheel of names type thing for all the people that are channel members that have been for like the last 2 months, and anybody that's a Patreon member of ours. So if you haven't got in already, you're SOL. I don't know how great this package is going to be, but we'll see what you think about it. It's going to be comic book related. Check out our Patreon, but even more importantly, check out our Substack. I've got a writer that helps us out with that. Does a lot of work, kind of takes like my thoughts and makes them coherent. And also puts in some interesting stuff, a lot of pictures, a lot of fun, and links to said telethon, which was the subject of the last Substack email. So yeah, don't be. Just follow the Substack. No money involved. No money. It's just free, and it's good. I promise. All right, we're going to get back to comments, and I think I'm going to close out close out the show. Is that a Gizmo NFT? I'm not sure if we're selling NFTs just yet, but I know through Patreon, we're able to sell those to anybody, even if you are a patron of ours. So I don't know if it's NFT, but it'll be a digital picture, right? Sounds the same to me. Did you clear out all your random boxes of trades? No. I'm waiting for the weather to be really good for sure. I've got a few plans. Here's some cool things. I want to get customers that have large amounts of collections, and I want to have them come out on a weekend day. And I want it to be a rotating cast of characters over the course of a month or 2 or 3, however the weather is. And at the same time, take in some money from them and then also sell some stuff, maybe have a sale on the stuff that I have going on in the store. Just make it a fun little hey, everybody, keep coming back, and we can just see what we can see and have a good time, and maybe just get rid of some shit. But most importantly, get rid of some shit from me, because that's the important thing. Yeah, I guess that's it. That's nothing really much more to talk about. I was going to talk about some of my favorite comic books. I had a Mother's Basement, but I've got a baseball game to listen to in a few hours. I think I'm going to call it a night and send you on your way. Go visit your comic store tomorrow, this week. Pick up some books, maybe some of the ones that I got. Let me know in the comments down below. And don't forget to visit that link that I put in the comments. See you next week.
Lucy and Ramona cruising through the jungles of L.A. Hoping to promote a dream somewhere along the way. You're rolling through the streets, looking for a disco, passing up the treats from a kid named Cisco, trying to make connections with their blemish-free complexions, and just as fate would have it, ended up with Sunset Sam. Sam was selling watches from a suitcase on a TV tray. And Lucy and Ramona kept trying to figure out if he was gay. The three of them were standing, staring at each other, when the light behind their eyes blew each other's cover. The ancient code was branded, and each of them was handed a ticket to their kingdom, 'cause they saw their brother Sunset Sam. Sunset Sam. Lucy was from Compton, and she met Ramona at the zoo. Ramona was from Brooklyn, but she left when she was 22. Sam was a native of the Arizona desert, but he split when he was slated for some governmental make-work. Their differences subsided when the common bond was sighted. They were all from the same place that made the famous Sunset Sam.